let's go ahead and show the footage here of exactly what we're talking about.
It's the video now seen by millions on social media of a pool party at the Lake of the Ozarks this Memorial Day weekend. The gathering happening at Backwater Jackson Osage Beach. On their Facebook page, the bar calls it the Zero Ducks Given Pool Party.
Okay, so there you go. Now, a lot of people were mostly surprised because they learned that day that the Ozarks is a real place. And that was the first wave of shock was, oh, wait a minute. The Ozarks are real? You're trying to tell me the Ozarks are a real place? They are a real place. Now then, a lot of people obviously were very unhappy at the site and the lack of social distancing. Not only the lack of social distancing, these people were so close, I'm pretty sure they were slowly becoming each other. They were just becoming one amoeba. That's how close they were to each other. There's social distancing, and then there's taking a bath together. I mean, what this was not was social distancing. If two of the people would have been any closer together, they would have been behind each other. All right, think about it. And I've said on the podcast, I've said here a zillion times, I've said, look, we're deep into this thing. We're a couple months into this thing. I think it's okay to go outside. I think it's okay to go to the beach. I think it's okay to go walk. I think it's okay to go on a bike, you go on a boat, do your thing. As long as you adhere to social distancing guidelines, as long as you adhere to regulations, as long as you're doing that, as long as you are at least attempting to be safe, then I think people are okay with it. I know I am. I don't believe that we should be holed up in the house. I don't believe that we should be sitting there nonstop. I think we're past that. I think we're good to go on that. That's just how I look at it. Now, there is an enormous difference, right? There's an enormous difference between going outside and then this. There's an enormous difference between, okay, let's start to slowly get back here. Let's start to slowly get back to some normalcy, and then having a 4,700 person orgy in a hot tub. We've got to find a happy medium, people. We got to find a happy medium. And what kind of blows my mind about this whole situation right now is that you seem to have predominantly two types of people. You have the people who are not leaving for anything. You have the people who are staying home. You have the people who aren't even letting their mailmen or mail women put the letters in their mailbox. They're making them throw them in the front yard, and they just go get them so there's no contact. So you have those people, the people who are ordering Pizza Hut and Domino's and Papa John's. You have those people who are ordering them and telling them, hey, leave it on the street, and I'll drive out there and get it. And I'm wearing a mask while I'm driving in my own car. That's one team. Then you have the other team who takes it almost as like a dare. They take it as almost let's just see how much I can wild out. Let's just, I don't know if you, this, I have no idea why this was the first metaphor, but we're going to run with it. Back in the day, mid-90s, on Comedy Central, if you watched late enough, if you got to about midnight, then Comedy Central quit showing shows, and they started to show infomercials of Girls Gone Wild videos. Now, these weren't like fully nude infomercials. This is still the 90s. It was all covered up, whatever. But it was basically an endless loop of Girls Gone Wild infomercials from probably 1 a.m., 2 a.m. to whenever. Infomercials are a crazy thing to even think about. Another very old way of life. But these people now are sitting here going, okay, I don't want to be in quarantine. So what should I do? And it's like they turn on these damn infomercials and say, I want to do that. How much can I go? Okay, you can go have a beer. How about I go have a fireball shot off of a stranger's body? Okay, well, you don't have to do that. How about you just go have a piece of pizza outside of the pizza shop? No, I want to twerk and dance all over the pizza poles, and I want to twerk all over the pepperoni. What the hell are you even talking about? Can we just dial it down? It's when I go through my Instagram stories or my Snapchat stories or whatever, it's like Russian roulette. I'm either seeing somebody who's quarantining by themselves at their house and they're just chilling, or I'm watching people that look like they're in a Snoop Dogg video. I mean, I've never seen people. Taka vodka apparently is back. I'm watching people take tugs of Taka vodka out in the middle of the Gulf of Mexico on some like tiki boat with around 40 people pass around the Taka vodka. The Taka vodka is bad enough without the coronavirus. 10 months ago, before the coronavirus, if you would have been like, hey man, I'm chugging this liter of Taka vodka, I'm going to chug it, then do you want to chug it directly after? I'd be like, no man, I'm good on all that. But it's almost like some people are trying to prove a point of just how little of a shit they give about the quarantine. And I think that's what's pissing people off. I think that's what people are missing. Now, did we need the girls going wild metaphor and the Taka vodka metaphor to get to this place? Maybe in hindsight, no. But that's what you come here for. You come here for out of the box, strong thinking, and the slow descent into madness that we're going through here. So I think what pisses people off the most is not the COVID situation. It's the idea that these people are like purposely being reckless just to be reckless. And I agree. I actually get that. I feel that. I actually realized this weekend, as a matter of fact, that that's what I feel when I see this. When I see people doing these kind of things, I don't feel like, oh my God, they're endangering me. Oh my God, these guys and girls are going to help spread. OMFG, these guys are going to, the disease, the virus. I'm not thinking that as much as I'm thinking like these selfish assholes. That's really what it is. Now again, if you're listening and you're like, oh, well, hold up. I was on the beach this weekend. Oh my God, is James calling me a selfish asshole? No, I'm not. Because more than likely, you were relatively regulating yourself. Now look, I ain't perfect, all right? I might have had a couple of damn Trulies this weekend. And I'll tell you this, I don't know about you, but my drinking tolerance is as low as it's ever been. Easily as low as it's ever been. At one point, I would like to think that I had a relatively high tolerance. Now, I'm not going to say that everything in my life was fantastic when I had that high tolerance, but at least I had a high tolerance. Now, if I drink 2 Trulies, you better call me an Uber. If I drink two Trulies, it's a wrap. It's over with. And I think I realized that, and I'm sure you feel the same way. This is with everything. I've had such a weird diet, because it's only been like 4 different foods. Because I haven't been to a restaurant. Still have not been to a restaurant. I haven't really had much alcohol versus like a Truly's here and there or a beer here and there. I haven't been anywhere. I haven't been out to these tiki bars and funneling Fireball with everybody else. If I knock back a couple of damn pink strawberry lemonade Trulies, it feels like my head is. I feel like I'm in like Willy Wonka and I'm floating to the ceiling. I mean, I'm starting to think that people are slipping roofies into my mango Trulies, man. I mean, I gotta start drinking. I gotta start sitting down in my closet and drinking hot whiskey like the old days and get my tolerance back. But anyways, off of that, let me just like put it to you. Let me try and put a foundation of what I mean by the social distancing and kind of these regulations. So I'm totally fine with you or with people having 10, 15, 6, 7, 8, whatever, of their friends over at a pool party or on the beach or whatever. And if you're all drinking out of your own cans and you're all to yourselves outside, whatever. That's fine. I think that's okay. If you and 10 of your friends want to go set up on the beach, drink some brewskis or a couple of seltzy babies, and you want to lay out, tan, get some vitamin D, that's cool. What is not cool is 50, 60, 75, 100 people piled into one area, one pool, one boat, one beach, one hot tub, one public restroom area, one restaurant, one bar, whatever, and passing around shots and passing around funnels and passing around bottles that everyone's drinking out of and taking body shots and dancing all over each other or being all over each other or stuff like that. Like, that's where it starts getting into, okay, this is now becoming unsafe. And the real reckless part is that not only are they doing it, but they're documenting it. They're putting it on social media. They're putting it on Facebook. They're putting it on Twitter. They're putting it on Instagram. And my immediate reaction is twofold. First fold, like origami. First fold is that this person is dumb. That's my initial thought. Is this person is probably pretty poorly informed. This person is probably stupid. And yeah, we're going to be frank here. We're going to be a little Frank Underwood because, we can talk freely amongst friends. In my mind, if I see that kind of stuff, it's like, okay, well, if I saw somebody touching a hot stove, it's like, okay, well, that person is not smart enough to realize, like, that's a hot stove. That's the first fold. The second fold is this person is incredibly selfish to the point to where all they care about is this picture or this video on Instagram, them partying, them having a good time, their social life, and they're willing to openly risk everyone for that. That's where I come down on it. And I think that's where a lot of people are coming down on it, because when I talk to people, they say things like, my view on that person has gone down. How I see them has become more negative. And I definitely agree with that. So, to wrap that all up with this Ozarks thing, it's like, guys, can we just find a happy medium? It's not an attack on you. Saying things like, hey man, let's just try and social distance, or let's just try and obey regulations, doesn't mean like your response shouldn't be, screw that. Not only am I not going to self-regulate, I'm not going to social distance, I'm doing the complete opposite, Jack. I'm coming into this party with fireball shots. I'm coming to this party with body shots. I'm coming to this party tits up. All right, I'm trying to break the walls down. Some people take it as like a act of war when people are like, hey, look, you mind like staying 6 feet away? You mind like wearing a mask? Whatever. So it's like you give an inch and they take a mile, man. I mean, we're trying. I'm trying. Everyone's trying to give people like some leeway. First month or so, yeah, stay your ass home. Past that, okay, we could go outside. We can go to the beach. I go to the beach all the time. I'm tan. Guys, I've said it a million times. I'm racking up BET awards. Okay, I honestly can't get any tanner. If I get any tanner, we don't have to go there. But if I'm as tan as it gets, and I love the beach. I'm all about it. But I'm not going to the beach and licking a frisbee and throwing it to strangers. Have a little self-respect. Have a little decency. Have a little, a little couth, I guess. Just have a little couth about you. And not about you. I know all of y'all are smart. I know all of y'all are doing the right things. I'm not talking about y'all. I'm talking about all the people at the Ozarks. All these people. And when I worked at a quick story, when I worked valet at the casinos, we also we helped out at the pool. And on Sundays, we had this huge-ass pool party. It was the worst. It was during the Jersey Shore time, so it was a very gym tan laundry heavy type situation. And a lot of star tattoos, if you know what I mean. And you know the star tattoos I'm talking about. A lot of white sunglasses. And the valet people, people would walk by to go to the pool. So we saw a lot of this kind of stuff. We'd have to go out there and whatever. So one thing I remember the security guard told me. The security guard was like, he was like, something people never notice is that the drink line is always packed. People always want to get drinks. The drink line is always full. He said, but you'll never, ever, ever see a line at the bathroom. And ever since then, I don't think I've ever entered like a pool party, big casino, public pool party. And we have a bunch of them down here, but I do not go.